The security of your property is very, very much paramount to me. I'm very much interested in the security and the genuineness of your property. That is why I'm here today to fulfill the promise I made that I'm going to be doing another video to explain your deed of assignment. I did say the deed of assignment is one of the most important land title or documents that you will ever have when buying real estate. Okay, it's a proof of ownership. So I just want to explain the content of a deed of assignment so that even you as a realtor, investor, developer or buyer, you will have insight, you have understanding of what this document is all about. This is a deed of assignment. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you some of the things that you have to look out for in a deed of assignment. It's very important. I did explain that this document transfers ownership to the new buyer. Okay, it transfers interest, title and ownership to the new buyer. So once you got the document, at the introductory part of the document, you have the names of the assignor and the assignee. Okay, the assignor is the person selling the property and the assignee is the person buying the property. Okay, so you have the names of the assignor and the assignee in front, and you can also have a brief description of the property you're buying just below it. Okay, the description of the land you're buying. Okay, and then also you also see the name of the lawyer that prepared the documents just down here. That's very important. Okay, then you open the document, you now see the names again of the assignor and the assignee in the document, this time around with their addresses. The addresses are very important. Okay, the address of the assignor, the name of the assignor and the address of the assignor, and then the name of the assignee and the address of the assignee. All right, then beneath it you're going to see what we call the reciter. The reciter tells you about the history of ownership of that land. Okay, if the land has been bought by someone before and then the person sold to the current person who is selling and then is selling out to you, you are going to see a brief history of ownership of that property. But if it's an ancestral land, what we normally call virgin land, there is no documents. Okay, there's no transfer ownership before, so you're just going to see the name of the original owners. Probably it's an ancestral land, like I said, or virgin land. You're just going to see just the name of that community or the family that owns that land. They are the primary owners, the first owners. Okay, but if they have sold it to different persons over time, you're supposed to see the history of ownership. This one bought from this and this bought from this. That's what we call the reciter in the deed of assignment. It's very, very important. Always check out for the reciter. All right, and then the next thing after reciter, you will now see what we call the consideration. Okay, what's consideration? Consideration is the amount or whatever that was given in exchange for that land. Consideration is not limited to money. Okay, anything can be a consideration in as much as the assignor and the assignee accepts, it becomes legally binding. All right, so the consideration is the amount paid for the land. In this case here is 1.5 million naira, both in words and in figures. Okay, it could be service, it could be a car. Somebody can decide to use his car to buy land. It's a valid consideration in as much as the assignor and the assignee accepts. It's a valid consideration. So consideration is what is paid in exchange for that land. All right, so you want to check the consideration. How much was it bought? How much is it being sold? You have to check that. Then after the consideration, you now have what we call the covenant. These are the details of the deed of assignment. So you want to take your time and read the covenants. Even in the covenants, you also see the indemnity clause. All right, so make sure you go through the covenant and understand. Normally, the transfer is properly being done at the covenant. So go through the covenant. And it says the assignor covenants with the assignee as follows. begin to see those things written. All right, so make sure you go through the covenant and understand every single clause of the covenant to make sure that you're being transferred full ownership, title, interest. Okay, it's very, very important. Then after the covenant, which is very important, like I said, you will now probably see things like details of the survey plan. At times is there, or at times you just put the survey plan inside. Okay, if the land has been surveyed. And then at the end, the last part, the concluding part, you now see what we call the execution. This is the signature of the assigner and the assignee and the dates. All right, that's the execution. It has to be signed. If it's not signed, it means it's not legally binding. It has to be signed. All right, and then after the signature of the assigner and the assignee, you now see the place for the attestations. Okay, these are the witnesses. The witnesses are also going to write their details and then sign. All right, and then the document is complete. So this document is very important. It's very important. I always do advise, before you sign, read through and try to understand. You don't understand, you can employ the services of a realtor or a lawyer, so they can help you interpret what the document is saying. But then at the end of the day, you need these documents to show that you are the owner of the property or the new owner of the property. Okay, so this is what I do. I want to educate people so they understand and make right, protected, secured real estate investments. All right, so if you're looking at investing at any strategic location in Asaba, that's Delta State, or in Lagos, or in Imo State, or Owerri, Enugu State, Anambra State, even Ebonyi, just check the numbers on the screen and I'm going to assist you to make a secured, informed real estate investment decision. I remain my humble self, Nnaemeka Anselm, aka Prof Realtor.